Hey, what's up, guys? Today I'm gonna be showcasing you a match between Eldlich and Altergeist. Me piloting Eldlich, and then my friend Darnell piloting Altergeist. We were playing in a tournament for 3 Secret Slayers boxes, and yeah, we were both undefeated at this time. So I figured I'd show you guys like a match so you can understand some of the technical plays between like a control versus control matchup. And I'll also like showcase you like the power of like Eldritch and like the deck and its capabilities. So without further ado, I'll go right into it.
Alright guys, so Darnell just joined. Darnell's piloting Altergeist and I'm gonna be playing him right now. So we're both currently undefeated, and I think he wins the dice roll, so he elects to go first. Here my hand is like pretty decent. Like I think it's actually better for going second, just because I don't have a guaranteed Lord access. I mean, I do, but I don't have guaranteed disruption. Here, I'm thinking whether or not I ash the extravagance. In this case, I'm probably going to, just because it's like too much advantage. Like the extra +1 could get him into the spoofing, and yes, it's probably correct to ash the spoofing, but at this point, like I still don't know what he's playing. Like he could be playing dinos for all I know. But I ash extravagant here because I'm just afraid of that +1. Just because like if he gets into the spoofing or the overraptor or whatever, it just snowballs from there, and I essentially will lose. I would actually neg 1 at that point because he +1. So now, okay, so I ashed him, and he didn't have a call by the grave, so I'm just gonna see what happens now. So at this point, he's just thinking, I think he doesn't have a strong hand, so he's just going to set 1 and pass here. And so, okay, I draw for turn. I'm thinking, like, this is actually free. I can Lord and send the back row, so that's the first thing I'm going to do. I decided whether or not I want to keep my Seal Drain, but I definitely will. I send the Conquistador because I have 2 in hand, and I want 1 to trigger. And so there he goes. He has a Manhunt, which is Crackdown set, which is a good tell that he's probably playing either Altergeist or Guru. And so at this point, I'm like thinking, like, okay, what do I do? I'm most likely just gonna set the skill drain, but this is a huge misplay, guys, because I predicted that he might have the evenly match, and so on stream I was thinking to myself, like, dang, that's actually a misplay because it'll let him trigger his evenly. So I was like, damn, I'm just gonna lose a card. So I'm like thinking, I think I'm just gonna set a random 1 and still summon Lord just to push for damage here. Just because I am playing against another control deck, and like damage matters in a control matchup, in my opinion. So here I'm just gonna set Harquero just so I can send it with the Lord. And I was thinking to myself, if he has the DD Crow here, he got it, that's fine, because the lands will get me access to elixirs, which means that I'll have guaranteed Lord access either way. So even if he DD Crows me here, I'm like not too worried. So I send that and I summon the Lord, and I'm just gonna go to main phase 2 and set the Conquistador, just so I have that interruption to pop. But so I'm just gonna summon Lord. I summoned in the wrong zone here because zone 2 and 4 are essentially ways for Meluseek to turn to Anima, which then Anima can take my monster. So this is a big misplay. But this is why like we rewatched our match and like commented on the match just so we can get better as a player. And so yeah, so here when I try to go to M2, there he has the evenly. And so I'm gonna get evenly here, and I'm thinking to myself, what do I keep? I banish my Lord because I have guaranteed Lord access from the 2 lands in the graveyard, and of course he opened up Godly, so he actually has the multi-faker here as well. I think he's gonna make 1 misplay here, which is I think he might get Silk. In my opinion, I think he should have gone the Meluseek to like continue playing. Because if he doesn't have a monster like a Meluseek or a Mariner for the follow-up, then this is like really bad for him. But here, I'm pretty much guaranteed that I'm gonna get Lord access, because even if he bounces like one of the reds, I can just banish the other one and get another red. So that's why I'm like totally fine. So let's see this. So okay, so I set red here, and at this point he makes a critical error, which allows me to win the game. So this is what I was talking about. He's gonna bounce my red, and then I'm just gonna be like, okay, thanks, I guess. So I'm just banish the second land, which is Harquero, and set another red. So he gave me free hand advantage, and I just set red. So at this point, like, this is where like the tides are like really turning, and like this is what I mean by like small misplays will cost you a lot in a control matchup, especially when resources are so valuable. And interruption and disruptions are like very valuable in this in the mirror, or not in the mirror, at least in the control. So here he's drew Godly. He top deck Meluseek, I'm pretty sure, because he should have summoned it turn 1 if he did have it, but I guess he didn't because he already had the faker. But I definitely would have searched Marionetta, at least. So here he tries to attack directly, and here's is a sequence of plays that I'm gonna do to like bait out the Meluseek. So first I'm gonna activate Conquistador as Chainlink 1. And so the reason why I do this is because I want him to like silk bounce it, and then I can chain skill drain to outplay him in this interaction. So I think he's gonna probably wait, which is correct because it's not live. I'll chain link to the red, which would then ensure that my Conquistador will be able to pop on resolution. I don't think he had the Ash here because yeah, I just didn't think he had the Ash here. But if he did, that would have been fine too, because I still would be able to like resolve skill drain. Oh no. Yo guys, that's sickening. Did this thing just freeze on me? I'm so sick. I gotta see this. Alright guys, yeah, so at this point I figured if he had the Ash, that was fine too. I still have skill drain to like fall back on, so I wasn't too worried. There he changed the Silk to bounce the Conquistador, so he wouldn't be able to get popped. And then here's his interaction where I'm talking about I automatically chain skill drain, and then Conquistador and red would both resolve, which means that I would also get to pop his red and then resolve Conquistador, which would blow up his Silk. And at this point, I summon in zone 1, 3, and 5 now just to play around the Anima. Because I saw the Melusic at this point. I was like thinking to myself, like, yeah, that's such a grave error. And so in this instance, I should be able to like just push for game here. Like I have like a lot of resources, and he has a Melusic in hand alongside of Multifaker. So the third card is probably a Conquery, which is dead, and I top deck an Extravagance here, which is like is just gonna put me ahead and just probably let me win the game. So I'm not gonna chain red. Actually, I think I will chain red just so I don't draw into a land. I want to increase my chances of drawing into like a Lord right here. So yeah, and I also don't want to draw the counter trap. It would be nice to draw. And so here, this is what I was talking about. I drew into a way to get to Lord, which lets me like push for game. So I checked my extra deck to make sure that I still have Gustav Max and the Leeb to like push for game. But even though I didn't really need it because I can just summon Lord and then just attack for game. So here I'm just gonna go into Dorlando. Dorlando would let me search. It's like a god card. It's literally a Foolish Burial, Goods, a Rhoda for the deck, or like I don't know, a Rhoda for spells and traps. It's just like so broken. So here I'm just gonna do like classic Eldritch plays. Search the Lord, activate Lord, dump red. I think just because it floats in the graveyard, but I already activated red this turn, but that's fine. I'm just going to send Orlando just so I get guaranteed Lord access again. I still have a counter trap to fall on, even if I somehow like aren't able to kill him. But I think I should be able to. I know 2 cards in his hand already, and the third card is most likely dead. So this is where I'm just going to go all in and then push for game. And I still have like counter traps and like other cards to like fall back on. So at this point, like I'm like very comfortable in my positioning. I'm just going to use Lord there. I still keep skill drain. So yeah, so I still keep the skill drain. Just in case, like I said, if he somehow like doesn't die from this. But here I'm just gonna go to battle phase, and that should be 6,000 damage to the face. And he immediately concedes there. So we take game 1 pretty convincingly, even though we got evenly fakered. And just to show you guys like the power of this deck, like this deck is like insane. Like I literally got evenly fakered, and I'm still here. So okay, now I'm thinking about my side deck. What do I put in? I put in 3 border because I realized like border is like just GG. Because if he sets up the full Altergeist board, if he tries to resolve the Faker, I can just normal summon, and he summons like Silk. I'll just normal summon Border, which essentially makes his Silk dead, and then start setting up. And so that was like my line of thought with like siding in Border, even going first or second here. The next thing I'm gonna take out is probably the DD Crow here. I thought about keeping it in because it punishes him if he gets greedy. So what I mean by that, if you go Mariel effect to send itself and a Melusic, or like to target a Melusic or another card in the graveyard, another Altergeist card, you can banish the target, and Mariner will try to resolve as much as possible, therefore sending it to the grave. Then of course I side in like the standard stuff, which is 3 evenly and 3 lightning storm, just to, like blow him out. And of course I take out Imperm because like the only thing Imperm is like good for is like against Marionetter, which like in that point it's still like quote unquote a minus, just because like he's that interaction gives him like a +1, and like by taking away that +1 he just went 0 and I went -1. So I took out Imperms at this point. I only keep Ash as my hand trap, and like I don't even want to hold that many hand traps, especially with Border anyways. So yeah, I decided to like keep skill drain in. I really wanted to keep Guardian in too, because Guardian is so broken. It literally makes any card non-target on the field 0 attack. And this is gonna be really critical because it lets me out like Avermax or any like dumb stuff. But it you guys see later in the match that this card actually won me the game. So here, I thought he was actually gonna make me go first, but instead he elects to go first again. He rips the extravagance, so which draws 2, so that's fine. I have no response, but I do have the evenly in my hand, so I feel really confident. And here, I actually thought like he, quote unquote, is overcommitting, because so he's gonna go into the Meluseek, link off the Meluseek into the Multi-Faker. So yeah, Meluseek searches Multi-Faker. I'm almost positive, unless he already has it in hand, which I wouldn't be surprised. He already drew it game 1 like a god. So here he's gonna go set 1, probably set 2. And it seems he's going to overcommit his entire back row. So he's going to go set 4. And I'm assuming set 5. Here, I think this was actually a really bad play. Just because of the fact that, like, I know that he does not have an Ash anymore. Like, I know that because I know the last card in his hand, he, like, doesn't have an Ash. So I can activate Extravagance for free. But it's automatically going to be Meat with an Imperial Order. Which in my head, I thought, like, that's fine. Like, I can play around in order. Like, I don't really resolve that many spells anyways. But I thought, wow, that's really broken. Open up, like, really well. So, and then here, I thought he got really greedy, because I would resolve Multi-Faker on, like, a Solemn Judgment or, like, another continuous trap in the end phase. So, but him shotgunning Faker, I don't know if that was necessarily correct. But here, I decided to go and punish him, where I go immediately to battle phase. And it's just to, like, evenly match him. So, I'm going to go evenly match. And I put it in IO zone, if call him, even though it doesn't matter. And he automatically has the Imperial Iron Wall, and that card destroys this deck because you can't banish. But here, I'm going to show you guys how to out that card. And so I'm just going to go Lord, and Lord send it, which is why Lord is so broken. Like, Lord send Iron Wall. So, but of course he also has a strike. So he opened up, like, the nuts. Like, this is, like, absolutely the nuts. He has Iron Wall. He has 2 Floodgates and a strike. So I was just like, oh god, that's, like, kind of insane. And then at this point, I'm actually gonna, what I'm trying to do is I'm gonna try and bait the Silk. So I'm gonna set 2 here, just because I want him to essentially use his Silk to bounce these cards, even though they're not real cards, just so that I take, like, quote unquote less damage, like, and it will force him to normal summon the Multi-Faker again, so that because, like, I guess to get that Silk bounce. Or he keeps Faker in hand and I take less damage. And, like, life points really matters, because I'm at a point where I'm, like, out of resources, so I can't, like, really do much. And here I'm gonna use I think about whether or not to use Lord Effect, and what I do is I decide not to, just so that he can bounce one of those spells or traps to my hand. And so and I think like I predicted, yeah, he bounces one of my back row. And so I'm, like, thinking to myself, like, okay, that's pretty good. He's gonna bounce, I guess, the counter trap here, which is fine. And I was just going to use Lord Effect next turn to send my back row and then add it back to hand. So here he takes the burn damage, and he didn't draw an Altergeist monster, which is, like, key. He got, like, I think he went for a Disruption instead of Meluseek, which I think is incorrect, especially if he doesn't have the follow-up. So I think he should have went for Meluseek. Like, he had, if you look at his back row, there was no way he was not going to get blown out by any cards. Like, he literally couldn't get Lightning Storm or Even Lead. So I would have gone Faker into Meluseek instead of Faker into Soliloquist, which is his misplay, because, like, what am I really summoning or setting that's going to threaten his board at this point, you know, in the game state? So I don't think the Silk was right, and that's why, like, I didn't believe in shotgunning it. He had Imperial Iron Wall, which would allow him to trigger it at end phase either way. So that's why it was, like, a quote unquote, I think, a misplay. He sets another card to, like, the back row, and at end phase I do nothing because I don't have anything. So I draw into another evenly match, and this is a really interesting play I have here, where he still has Imperial Iron Wall, but I'm going to show you guys how to use Eldlich to its max potential. So what I'm going to do here is that Eldlich, actually the Golden Lord, is an optional effect to summon from the hand. So what it does is it sends a spell and trap to the grave and adds it to your hand, and the summon from hand is not mandatory. And this is really neat because it lets me recycle my Lord to try and give it a second shot at outing his Imperial Iron Wall, so I then can resolve evenly. So at this point I think to myself, like, bro, if he does not have it, I am guaranteeing this game. So I try to go to end of battle again just to give it a second shot at resolving evenly on him. Here he, of course, you know, has another way to out it, which is Dark Bribe. So I drew a card off it, and I was thinking to myself, oh, that's not too bad. He lost a counter trap, and I drew a card from there, and as long as he doesn't kill me, that Dark Bribe is actually going to be more valuable to me in the end. And I also was actually thinking to myself, I was in an okay position because I outed the Imperial Iron Wall, which means that my elixirs are now live. I think he's going to make another critical misplay here, is he's going to actually bounce my lands at end phase, which is a big misplay because the lands aren't going to be able to trigger anyways, and I can just always set it to send with Lord anyways. And so it like truly doesn't matter here. And I believe he should have just kept that silk there. So in this case, he's gonna do bounce the faker and then bounce my set. And he doesn't have like a way to trigger the faker, and so I think he valued the silk bounce way too much. He should have kept faker in hand, and then when he dark bribe, he would be able to trigger a faker from Meluseek and literally win the game out from there. Like I was at my life points was like quite low. 57 is within the like OTK range for Altergeist, especially with like what he had on board. So here he normal summons faker again, and like I said, I think he's overvaluing the silk bounce, and this is I think common within Altergeist players that they overvalue the silk bounce, and it's what's I think believe is costing him the game, because I literally triggered like my evenly triggered dark bribe, which would have triggered a trap for faker to resolve, and if he just kept faker in hand the past turn, he would have been able to kill me. So here I'm just like, okay, that's fine. I will take the damage. I just have to see what I draw at this point. So I drew into a Solemn Judgment, which is actually like terrible. It's like literally like super slow, and I can't really do much from here. So I'm thinking to myself, like, what can I do to like out this? So I think, and at this point in the game, I realized that because Silk doesn't have a valid targeted trigger, I'm gonna use Lord Effect to send the Silk to the grave so that he doesn't have a way to bounce Faker in hand and then trigger a trap to resolve Faker. And so at this point, I'm gonna Lord send Conquistador and target the Silk. And Silk, unless he has a spoofing, which obviously would have been activated way in advance, and dodge, it would have, like, I was totally fine. And here I tried to bait another evenly match by going to battle phase, but it was just a troll and I didn't have it, of course. So at this point, I'm just gonna set one judgment and then pass. Like, there's nothing else I can really do here. And then at end phase, I can resolve the Conquistador to get me a red. And the reason why I get red here, even though I like white because my graveyard is loaded with lords, is just because he has Imperial Order. So the Silk is sent now, so he has no way to recur the Faker to hand to resolve it. So at this point, I feel like really good. And that's the thing about this deck. You're capitalizing on your opponent's like small technical misplays, and that's why I really like control decks, because it's a lot of back and forth. It's not like I'm getting FTK'd. Although, to be honest, Imperial Iron Wall and like, you know, Imperial Order, that's like low-key FTK. But anyways, here I'm on attack direction. I thought to myself, I do not want to take any more damage, so I'm gonna use red just to summon another lord to protect myself from getting hit. And it's important to value your life points, especially in a control matchup, because the smallest things can like just kill you out of nowhere. So I use red here, and I'm just gonna try and summon a lord here from the deck, because I do not want to draw another lord, and so that's why I summoned from the deck this time and not the graveyard, because I want to draw into a spell or trap, because I can then recur lord to hand, recur lord to hand, and then dump and banish and send it to the grave and send another card he controls. Here I immediately knew I had to judgment the crackdown, just because if I don't, then he'll get a free monster on the board, which lets him make link plays. Here I immediately judgment it, and then of course he has the nuts, so he has another dark bribe. That's his second dark bribe. So I'm just gonna draw a card, and I drew border, and I thought to myself, okay, I'm actually in a fine position. He can only do 1500 damage right now, so I'm only gonna be at 200 life points, which is still fine, because border will stop his link rebuild from will only allow one effect. So even if he draws into the spoofing, if he doesn't shotgun it, I'll just be able to use priority in main phase 1, summon border, and then stop his spoofing, and then be able to like play. Maybe even go for game. And so he's at 2300 life points, so I'm thinking of ways to do exactly 1600, because if you're at exactly 700 in TCG, you will actually still die from IO. Or I was actually thinking of another way to do 2300 life points. Okay, so at this point, what I'm gonna try, I'm thinking of like, how am I gonna kill him? That's like the first thing I do at the start of every turn, especially when the life points are low. So I think to myself, like, what are ways, like interactions and plays I can do to like kill my opponent, because I don't want to prolong the game when I'm at 200 life points. And so because he resolved dark bribe on me twice, that draw 2 is actually like still putting me back in the game, because he couldn't kill me. And so that's why, like, even though dark bribe is nice, if you don't capitalize on the dark bribe, it's actually really bad. It's like drolling your like a spiral player and then setting one pass. Like, that's not doing much. So like, it's just a stall one while I get to draw a card. So here in this instance, like I'm still like thinking, like what are my potential options? And I was trying to capitalize on the fact that I can use border and then attack with the other monster. And I thought like Eldlich buffed up to 35 can attack over Multi-Faker, which would be 3,500 damage. And so that 2,300 damage. So 35 minus 12 is 23. Quick maths. So I was thinking to myself like that is how I'm gonna kill him. I'm gonna attack I'm gonna bait out Link Rebo and then attack Multi-Faker for 2,300 exactly, and then win the game out from here. Unless that's and I was thinking to myself that set has been there. All the way to like the right guys. That set has been there forever. So I was thinking to myself that that's a dead card. But of course, he's gonna prove me wrong again because he, like I said, he opened the nuts. So on resolution of the summon, here's what he's gonna do to me. He's gonna activate another manhunt. So aka crackdown. He's literally gonna activate another crackdown. So I was like, oh my god, this guy drew godly. Like it's just like insane. Like I was like, are you serious right now? A second crackdown? So now at this point, I'm like, okay, I'll just have to normal border, just so that he can't resolve Marionetta if he does normal summon it, and he can't use Mario's effect to bring revive back Soloquist or bring back Faker to trigger Faker. So here I'm just gonna declare an attack on the Multi-Faker, which would trigger Link Rebo. So he's gonna have obviously use Link Rebo here, which is his one effect. But you know what else he has? Like I said, he has the nuts, guys. So he's going to reveal a Kunkri from his hand. A Kunkri. So he's going to show me. He's going to show me right now that he drew the nuts. So he reveals Kunkri from his hand to negate my attack. Border allows you only one effect because there's only a Link monster on the board. And so in this case, he's going to summon the Kunkri, but he won't get Kunkri's second effect to negate a card on my side of the field. So I thought to myself, that's still fine. His Link Rebo survives, and I get another turn still. He still does. And now I know every card he has in his hand, graveyard, and field. So I was thinking to myself, I'm actually not that worried unless he top decks a Meluseek. If he top decks Meluseek, I lose. And so at this point in the game, I get Guardian. Guardian is my way to ensure that I don't lose to Meluseek, just because I can make Meluseek's attack 0. So this was like really key where Guardian actually came in clutch. I'm immediately going to go to like end phase and then resolve Quero to get me a red. Just so I can get a booty on the board so I don't die. But like I said, the only way he wins is if he top decks a Meluseek, which is like not unlikely, especially with 28 cards left in his deck. He has a 3 out of 28 like chance to like draw into the Meluseek right now and like just essentially end me. I was also thinking the other way that he can like win is also go into Nightmare Phoenix. Nightmare Phoenix can then shuffle back border. But I thought that was okay too, just because I still have like 2 booties on board, and he can't. And Guardian has 2,500 defense, which is like insane. So at this point, I'm just like, okay, what did he draw? Did he draw the Meluseek? I'd be sick if he did. So because his win condition now is to go into Unicorn, but I'm like, he has 8 cards left in his extra deck. He banished 6. He summons Karibo. What are the odds he actually has a Unicorn left, and if he even plays Unicorn? And so at this case, because he would have linked off my Golden Lords, if he did play like any Link, I believe like he should have, because it would have pushed for damage and put a lot more pressure than a Link Karibo. And so Iron Wall, isn't like the Imperial Order is actually helping me, because it's actually reducing his life points while I stall out the game or like try to survive. And so at this point in time, there's not much you can do really, because he, like I said, he only gets 1 effect right now because of the Link Rebo. And let's say I guess like what can he like really do? Like even if he goes into Phoenix, which will like let him draw a card, like that I think that was the correct play. If he like goes into Phoenix, link off my card, but I guess he doesn't have anything. So at this point, I think to myself, I'm probably winning the game. And here's a really cool thing you can do with Guardian here that I thought of on the spot. So I was thinking to myself, like, how do I kill him? Because Multi-Faker's in defense and he contributes Link Rebo for cost. So at this point, I'm like, dang, okay, that's still really annoying. How do I like put game out on board? And so if you guys want to pause this video right here, like, how do you put up game on the board? Like, you guys comment in the comment section below. But anyways, here I'm gonna go to end phase, and then I kept thinking, I'm like, okay, wait, he has Link Rebo, is gonna tribute for cost. How do I put game out? He's gonna be at 900 life points, and so I realized Guardian can make my own Lord 0 attack, and then I can just beat over my Lord. And so it was at this critical moment in time where I realized, like, oh my god, Guardian's actually gonna win me the game, because I can use Elixir, summon my last Lord from the graveyard because he has 2 of them, and then I use Guardian and just make my own Lord 0 attack. And so I was thinking to myself, yo, if he does not have another Crackdown set back there, he'll die. And even if he does has another Crackdown, I'm still alive. So it doesn't even matter. Even if he has a Judgment, it's totally fine, because on my turn, I'm straight going to battle phase. It does not matter. I'm going to battle phase 100%. So here, I make his Eldritch, the Golden Lord, 0. And so I'm like, okay, it should be 100% be game. I drew even busted, but that card is dead, unfortunately. I can't use it. I don't have 800 life points, guys. I'm at 200, and then Imperial Order is on the board. So here I'm like, you know what? No fancy plays needed. We're going straight to battle. So I just go to battle. I do Guardian to bait out the Link Rebo, and then I'm going to after that attack with Inspector Border, and then win the game, guys. And here he immediately concedes because he notices his game state. And yeah, guys, I hope you guys enjoy this this match. And like the technical plays and like my thought process as I was walking through it. I didn't show you guys like the cards that my opponent had, just so you can understand like my thought process, like, you know, at this moment in time, like where I didn't know what he had. I had to like kind of like use tells and like use my understanding of the game and like the Altergeist matchup to like kind of predict what he had, and also like to like play around cards and stuff like that. But overall, like, guys, that was I hope you guys enjoyed the match, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you.
Hey guys, thank you for tuning in and watching this feature match. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and comment in the comment section below what else you would like to see. Also, please check out my Twitch, which is twitch.tv/pack_official_TCG for more content, live gameplay content regarding this deck. I've been testing this deck nonstop, and I just recently became an affiliate thanks to the help of all the viewers and all you guys and all subscribers. So big shout out to you guys as well. And also, if you're interested in online tournaments during like the Corona season, please check in the description link below for links to online tournaments. Also, shout out to my team, Luxury Gaming, which is my team sponsor. But overall, thank you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.